Hey everybody! Woo, we've got some fun projects to do. We're going to use clipboards. I have 5 projects to do with clipboards. Now listen, I know some people are like, well, I don't have teachers in my life. Why do I not want a clipboard? Listen, I don't know about you, but I love me a real paper planner. I love writing things down on, just brainstorming or whatever. These are perfect, and I do one for every season. Of course, I'm a homeschooler, so of course I have one for my children for all their things, but they make great, like seasonal. You could do all sorts of things. And then if you are someone that has teachers in their life, I bet this would also be good for your education people. Anyways, however you use them, they're fun. And I love doing them. And I hope you enjoy it too. And oh, hey, hi, by the way, I'm Colette with Blessing Script Therapy, if you didn't know. And if you did, thanks so much for coming back. All right, let's get to these projects. So I start with a Dollar Tree clipboard. There it is. Take the sticker off it. I got these napkins at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, and I love them. You're going to get them down to 1 ply. These are like 3 ply. So make sure when you get your napkin, you make sure that it's down to 1 ply. This joker almost fooled me, but didn't get me. I got it down to 1 ply. So there we are. And you're going to need to do that for 2 napkins, right? Then I cover the front with Mod Podge, and I make sure to go around the, whatever that clip is that holds your paper, go around that. Make sure that you don't have any lumps or clumps. Let it dry. You can use a dryer if you need to. Let it dry. Mine's dry now. So then we're going to add our 1 ply napkin on top. And okay, so doing this again, I would put a piece of parchment paper on top. I didn't have any parchment paper, and I was being lazy, and I didn't want to run upstairs. So I just went all in with the iron, and I am just ironing on the napkin. Basically what happens is that the heat will activate the Mod Podge, and it will adhere the napkin, and there are no wrinkles. Oh, it's such a smooth effect. I love it. I love it so much. And make sure you iron around that clip because you painted it, you want to also iron it so that the napkin is adhered. Then I go around and I sand the edge. You don't have to sand the edge, I guess. You could cut it out, but I can't cut a straight line. You know this. So sanding is my best friend. Then I use my X-Acto knife, or you can even use a rotary cutter and just cut around that clip. There we go. Now listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I think it looks pretty just like that. And then we're going to do the same process on the back. We're going to put Mod Podge, let it dry. And then we're going to put another napkin on the back, 1 ply again, and then iron that as well. Again, I'm going to caution you, please consider using a piece of parchment paper. The reason why is because I felt like my iron was starting to stick a little bit, and I would hate for you to ruin your iron or have to clean it because it has residue from that. So anyways, sand it, same thing. Look at, I'm right there. I'm thinking, listen, I'm going to tell you also, I am kind of wishing I didn't put these little carrots on it. I feel like it didn't do anything for it, but we don't know until we try. And all I'm doing with this is just adding some brown wax to it and wiping it off just to make it look a little bit more country and less vibrant, so it matched with the carrots that were on there, and I just glued them on. Here's another tip. Make sure you glue the carrots on. Look how cute though. Glue the carrots on so that you can actually put the paper on. I didn't do that. I was so excited. I was getting in my crafting groove and I'm so happy. And then after when I was done, I was like, son of a gun. My paper. Now a smaller pad will fit on it fine. And you can still use the clipboard as I use them, which is just as a harder surface to write on. But, and I also added some lace and ribbon onto the top. Now see here, this is what I was talking about. Darn it all, it doesn't fit, but it still works. It's still fine. And let me just say this, it's adorable. Again, if I were to do this again, I probably wouldn't add the carrots, but it's okay. We live and learn, right? And it didn't cost me a ton to learn the lesson, so I'm not mad. So we're starting with this Dollar Tree clipboard. Take off the label, and I'm using some Dixie Belle. Now, I got this from Inspired Creations. This is the color Daisy, obviously, and I'm going to cover the back of our clipboard with this Daisy paint. It is a chalk paint. It is so nice, friends. I Tell me in the comments, have any of you used Dixie Belle before? This is my first time and I love it. It goes on super smooth. It doesn't have a smell. It dries nice and fast. I really like it. Anyway, so you'll notice here on this clipboard, I am not worried about streaks. I'm not doing a second coat. We're just going to do the first coat and let it dry really well. Again, you could do 2 coats if you wanted, but we're just going to cover it with a napkin. So don't go too crazy pants. We're just going for the color. I did try putting some white acrylic on first, and that was an epic failure. So we're going to do this pretty yellow. I was concerned that it was going to be too yellow with the napkin. I was afraid it was going to make it too muted, but I can't wait for you to see it. It looks so good. So good. Anyways, all right, so here we go. All painted, and then we just need to let it dry. I used a heat gun. I'll be honest with you, I didn't wait. I used a heat gun and it dried fast. And then I cover the back with some Mod Podge, and then we're going to let that dry completely. Yes, I poured it on the back, the Mod Podge on the back. Of course I did. I don't have time to keep dipping into the jar. Come on. So there we go. There, it's all spread out. Let it dry. Now I've got these napkins. I got these from Paula at Inspired Creations. I love these because it is a full pattern. Love that. And it's only 2 ply. So we get it down to 1 ply. Look how pretty it is. Oh, all right. Does anybody else love daisies? God, I love daisies. Anyways, so then we're going to put this on the clipboard that we had dried with the Mod Podge. And then I'm putting a piece of parchment paper over it. And now we're ironing it. Take your time with the iron. Don't go too crazy, but, there we go. And it is now adhered. Right? Cool, right? I know. And then I'm just going to sand the edges, and I'm loving it. I love it. And I'll be honest, when I did this part, I didn't notice any, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. Now we're going to do the front. We're going to do the same exact process. We're going to do Mod Podge, except we're not going to paint the side. And now you get to see the difference between if you put an undercoat of paint and not. Like, it makes so much of a difference. So we do the same process. We do the Mod Podge, let it dry, put the napkin on it. The difference here is that I'm just going around the clipboard hardware with my X-Acto knife just to kind of, clean it up. And then we're going to same process as before. We're just going to sand it. And it looks super pretty, right? I can't wait. Watch this. Look at how different it looks. Isn't it cool? Now I actually put some cute little felt daisies on mine, which I'll show you this week how I made. All right, so I started with this calendar I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use just the cover that says Blessings Bloom because it's got shiny on it, and I love it. All right, so there's that. I turn my clipboard over, and I cover it with Mod Podge, and I let it dry. Once it's dry, I put my paper on it, and then I put a piece of parchment paper over that, and then I iron it. Oh, look. And I make sure that it's all adhered. It is. So then I take and use my brayer just to make sure that there are no lumps or bumps. Then after that, I sand off the edges. Easy peasy, right? Well, that's not it. Come on. That's not jazzy enough. So we're going to... And I used a sanding block. You could use anything, I suppose, but that's what it looks like once we sand it. And it looks great. I think it looks cute like this. Absolutely. But then I put some Mod Podge on the top, and I just put just a strip of felt that I cut. I think I got the felt at Joann Fabrics or something. Perfect. And then I'm just trimming the edge just to make sure that it matches with our clipboard. And then I cut another piece with my pinking shears in pink, and I put that in the center. Look at how cute that looks. Trim the end. Oh, and we're getting there. All right, now flip it over. Same song, second verse. Put some more Mod Podge on that. And we're going to do the same thing. Let it dry. Once that dry, I take a piece of scrapbook paper, and I got this at Joann Fabrics, and I put a piece of parchment paper over that, and then I'm ironing that on. Yes, we're going to do the exact same process we did on the back. We're going to iron it, make sure that there are no lumps or bumps. Anytime I do this, I always just check, and I kind of try to lift the paper off of it. And if it doesn't come off, great. I do use a brayer over mine. You don't have to do that for yours. And then I go over the edges and I sand them just like I did on the back. Easy peasy. I suppose that you could measure it and cut it out before you do this so you don't have to sand, but that sounds like way too much work for me. All right, now I made these felt flowers, and yeah, I'm going to show you a video on that soon on how to do those. But first thing I'm going to do is take a strip of the green felt and I'm going to glue it. So see how I put it a little bit underneath that strip that I don't know, it's like a clip. I'm going to glue it so on itself so that it goes around that clip like thing, so that way we can glue our flowers on it. Yeah, I know. It's going to be so much fun. All right. Anyway, so I glue that there, and then we take our flowers. Look at how cute these are. I can't even stand it. Now listen, if I were to do this again, I would make much smaller flowers because I can't put a notebook in this, but this is going to make a perfect vessel for when my children are doing homeschooling, or we need just a piece of something more stiff to be able to, write on a piece of paper. This is going to be perfect. Or if you have a wee little notebook, this will be perfect as well. But oh my God, look at how cute it is. I'm so excited. Friends, and look that's the back. Are you kidding me? I just think it's adorable. So I start with a Dollar Tree clipboard, take off the tag, and then I'm just painting the front and back with a chalk paint. The only hard part about this is just making sure you cut in around the clip. Let it dry, flip it over, do the back. Do you have to paint it? No, probably not. I was tempted not to. But oh well. Anyways, then I'm putting on Mod Podge. It's a matte Mod Podge. There it is. We're going to let it dry. Once it's dry, we're going to get this scarf I got from Dollar Tree. It's got bees on it, and I am there for it. It is so pretty. All right, so, and it's the exact right width. Crazy, right? So then we're going to put it on how we want, and then we're going to put a piece of parchment paper on top, and then we're going to iron it. Now you want to make sure, especially where the clip is, you want to make sure that you get right up to the edge ironing so that it actually adheres the fabric to the clipboard. And you'll do this, iron the whole thing because it activates the Mod Podge and it makes the fabric stick. It's crazy. I love it. One of my favorite techniques. All right. So could I have cut it? Yes. I could have used my scissors to cut this. But you know what? The day I'm having, it wasn't going to happen. So I sanded it off and it worked just fine. Now we're going to do the same song, second verse on the back, right? We're going to do Mod Podge, let it dry. Once it's dry, add your fabric and get it just right. Then we're going to put parchment paper on top. Then we're going to iron it. Everybody always asks when I do these, and you see my little iron. I got my iron from Walmart. It's adorable. To be clear, it is cute. But again, I'm just ironing. There are two little nubbies on the back of this. You want to make sure you go around that and over it as well. Same thing I did on the front. I'm sanding off the excess. It worked. It's thin enough. You just got to be careful that you don't yank on it so that you don't pull it up off of the clipboard. But look at how pretty already. All right, so then I have some daisies from, I think I got these at Michael's. They were on sale. And I'm going to add some of the greenery to the clip. And we're just going to make sure I glued it on, but I want to make sure that the clip actually still works. So you'll see me kind of lifting it just to make sure. So I put the leaves on there. And then I'm going to make sure we want to clip these flowers so there's no little nubbies on the back. Does that make sense? So you just have to be mindful when you do this, though, because when you do that, it will all fall apart. I know. I needed an easy project, and here I am making it more complicated, but go figure. But anyway, so we're just going to glue, once we've trimmed those little faux daisies, once we trim them really well, then we're just going to glue them onto our clipboard and quit it right now. Look at how cute this is. This made me happy. And yes, I tried one of my coloring pages that I made. Tried that on it. It worked. Super excited. I love it. I don't know about you, but I have a thing for clipboards. So yay. Made me happy. Made my day a little bit brighter. We're going to take this Dollar Tree clipboard. I use my chalk and I'm just going to make 2 lines. And then I'm also going to make a mark in the center at the bottom. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to connect that line and I'm going to make it kind of like, we're trying to make little triangles on the sides. See that? I rarely use rulers and measure, but this time I wanted to make sure it was straight. So I just made sure to measure straight across, marked where that was, and then I just connected those 2 lines, if that makes sense. Again, you're just making triangles at the end on the sides. Okay. Then I'm going to make a little wave. Perfect. And look, it's a pencil. All right, so now I'm using some chalk paint. You could use regular acrylic if you wanted, but this is just what I had on hand. And I'm using pink on the top, and I'm going around the clip and just filling in that top portion. I did both sides. Look at how cute, right? Then once that's dry, I'm using another chalk paint. It's a metallic one, and I'm just doing that line that we made. We're gonna just do that. Again, this is like the silver part of a pencil, right? And again, I did both sides. Now we're gonna do orange chalk paint, and we're just following the line of that wave we made and putting, filling it in. It's just like coloring. It's fine. Look at how fun. And again, I did both sides. Then once I was done doing that, I decided to put white on. So that's the tip of the pencil. And the part that I'm doing, they're the two triangles that we had measured out earlier, right? So all I'm going to do is paint in those triangles. I know this seems crazy, but trust the process. You're going to love it. Or, well, maybe you won't love it. I don't know. I love it. All right. And I did both sides with that, right? Again, this is chalk paint. You could use any paint that you wanted. You don't even have to do this part. But then I take my Posca marker, this is a blue one, and I just did lines. Obviously, you don't want to do the inside of the pencil. Then once that was dry, I then take my red Posca marker and I did a line down. So now it looks like a piece of notebook paper. What? Wait a minute, watch. It looks like notebook paper. I love it. Then I take my straw and I just have some regular black chalk paint and I dip my straw in it and I did a couple little circles so that it looks like the holes of the notebook paper. Look how cute. Then I filled in the tip of our pencil with some black, and I was not fussy. I wanted it to be very, rough. Then I'm doing some whimsy little dot line, dot line, that kind of stuff. You don't have to do this part, but I think it adds some whimsy to it, makes it look cute and more illustrated. But again, if this isn't your jam, don't do it. But it is mine in Holy Toledo. I love it. Again, line, dot line. On the silver part, I just did dashes. You don't have to. You could put as many of these lines as you want. Then I took some white Posca marker and I did a little accent part on the eraser and the lead. Cute. Then I know this is above and beyond, but then I took pieces of ribbon. They were 5 inches long, and I had different, you see the different colors? They match the colors of a pencil, and I just put them on the clip part and just made sure they were really close together. But look how cute this is. I can't quit it right now. How much fun is this? I make these all the time because I am a homeschooler, as you know, and I put their learning logs on it and they love it. They love it when I do this. So I have to keep doing it. Anyways, friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope this inspires you.